Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, my name is Nikki, and today I'd like to talk to you all about the top 5 things that I'd want in a new Killer Instinct game. The rumors of a new Killer Instinct game are floating around, and it's very clear that a lot of people in the KI community and the FGC in general are getting very excited about it. I think that when most people talk about this topic, they're usually more concerned with gameplay changes from the previous game, gameplay mechanics, characters, and guest characters. However, my desires for a new Killer Instinct are a little more indirect towards the gameplay itself, and are totally concerned with the longevity of the game. Before we get into the list, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you love Killer Instinct, subscribe to the channel for more Killer Instinct content, and ring that bell to turn on notifications for all of my uploads. Without further ado, let's get into the top 5 things that I would want in a new Killer Instinct game. So you're probably thinking, isn't the KI training mode already really good? Well, kinda, but there are some really important things that I think could make it a lot better. For starters, the training mode we have has the ability to turn on a hitbox/hurtbox viewer, which for its time was a really advanced feature that not a whole lot of fighting games were doing. It also has the option to view in-game frame data, but unfortunately a lot of it is actually incorrect. For example, the startup frames on every move in the game are decreased by 1. This is problematic because for a long time, I thought the game really had 2 frame DPs, when in reality true DPs in this game are 3 frames. For a better understanding of the game's frame data, I totally recommend going to the spreadsheet on ki.infill.net. And Filament and his crew really did a fantastic job of correcting and finding the frame data for just about everything in Killer Instinct. Another thing I would really like in a new training mode is a resource manager, like the ability to give Spinal infinite skulls or to keep Idol in one stance permanently. This would make things a lot more easier to lab out instead of wasting time building resources. The most important thing of all would be better recording feature. Everything you choose to record in this game has to be timed perfectly and done manually. It's very bare bones. Games like Street Fighter V, MK11, and Dragon Ball FighterZ have recording features that I think would be very helpful in a new Killer Instinct game. The Dojo Mode we had in Season 1 of Killer Instinct was fantastic, if you were a Jago main, in Season 1. Anyways, since the game's development, there hasn't really been too many updates for it, and it leaves out a lot of important mechanics like flip-outs, recaptures, and staggers. The Dojo Mode is actually so old, it doesn't even mention the fact that Jago can charge or dash cancel his fireballs. This was added into the game in Season 3, and it was never added into the Dojo Mode, which is strange since Jago is the only character that can be used in the Dojo Mode. I think a tutorial mode is a necessity in any fighting game, and it should be adjusted and updated when a new patch comes out. Having a tutorial for each individual character as well as all of the in-game mechanics would be just as useful, and it would help people determine who they like the most, without having to figure out things for themselves in the lab. A lot of casual players are even intimidated by practice mode, and how many options there might be, so to have a cookie cutter style tutorial with on-screen inputs and challenges or trials that they can complete would be very beneficial. Do you use the training mode or the dojo mode in Killer Instinct? And if not, do you find them confusing or unhelpful at all? Let me know in the comments below. If you frequently play Killer Instinct online, then you'll know that the lobby system has a lot of weird issues. The game features crossplay lobbies between Xbox, Windows 10, and Steam. However, for some ungodly reason, I have a harder time joining or hosting lobbies on the Xbox or Windows version than I do on Steam. I even go as far to host all of my tournaments from the Steam version of the game. I have issues all of the time with players not being able to search for my public lobbies, spending several minutes searching for the proper perimeters, and not being able to accept invitations. It's a very annoying inconsistency that I think can be easily fixed. Say what you will about the lobbies in Guilty Gear Strive, but since its updates, I've never had the issues of being able to find my friends in lobbies. I get that the internet is unpredictable, so sometimes the lobby will disconnect altogether, or games will crash, but when the issue is happening as frequently as it does in Killer Instinct, I think it really warrants an upgrade. There is a large population of this community that just stays grinding ranked. I'm talking a double-digit amount of pro stars, always in the top 32 for the monthly ladders, and I think a lot of those players are really used to the first to 2 that you get in ranked. However, in most tournaments for this game, especially the KI World Cup sanctioned ones, they are run with first to 3 rules the entire way through. Having first to 3 in ranked, as well as the option to switch characters, would breathe new life into the game's ranked mode. Ranked in Injustice 2 went from a 1 and done to a first to 2, and that was a small improvement. Then Combat League in MK11 went from a first to 2 to a first to 3, and I think that felt the best overall. Being locked into only one character in ranked feels almost primitive and limited, and just like in a tournament match, you should be able to change your character on a loss, and you should be forced to stay on the character if you win a round. Maybe it's just the sweaty competitor in me that wants more time to download and adapt in a game as fast-paced as Killer Instinct. This has to be the #1 most important thing on my list. Having good netcode is a bare minimum necessity for me in just about any fighting game. Rollback netcode has been a hot topic in the fighting game community for a while now, and I think at a certain level, it doesn't really affect more casual players playing on TVs that can't tell the difference why their game feels slow or delayed, but when you're a competitive player, having net play that feels almost like you're sitting next to the person you're playing with, side by side, is an important factor, and I think it's a deal breaker for a lot of players these days. Whenever I hear that a new fighting game is coming out, and then I find out shortly after that it's going to have delay-based netcode, I almost immediately write it off. I don't care if your game has Sora from Kingdom Hearts in it. I have no interest in playing online in a 4-digit ping just to hear GG's big fan afterwards. The netcode is so close to perfect in the KI game that we have now, we are truly spoiled by it. I've played a lot of games that feel really good, like MK11, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl on PC, and Melty Blood Type Lumina on PC as well. But Killer Instinct by far has given me the best online experience of any fighting game, and if the new Killer Instinct game wants to succeed the same way, that netcode better live up to the expectations. So what do you think of this list? Is there any changes you would make, or is there anything specific that you want to see? Let me know what you want to see in a new KI game in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.